Okay, this is the remaining notes from section 3.3. We are looking at example 4. Find the slope-intercept form. So remember that means our final answer will be y equals mx plus b of the line that satisfies the given conditions. So for our first one, we have two ordered pairs, an x-intercept and a y-intercept. And the x-intercept is, sorry, I had my mic on the wrong way, -5, 0, because that's what an x-intercept looks like. The y-intercept would be 0, -1. So first thing we have to do is find our slope. So x1 and y1, x2 and y2. So it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That'll be plus plus down there. So that's -1 over 5. And then we want to find the line, which this is the y-intercept. So if you already have your y-intercept, there's not much more to do. You can just write mx plus b, and our b is a -1 here. If I don't have the y-intercept, I'll be doing what I'm going to do in part B. So notice this time I have two ordered pairs but no y-intercept given. So I still have to find my slope, so that'd be 7 minus 1 over 3 minus -2. So that gives me 6 over 5. Then I'm going to use the point slope formula to get myself into a form where I can then solve for slope-intercept. I'm going to choose 3 and 7 as my point. You can choose either point, but that's the one I'm going to use. So y minus 7 equals 6/5 x minus 3. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that 5 in that denominator by multiplying both sides by 5. On the right side, it just cancels out the 5, and then we still have to distribute this 6. On the left side, we'll have to distribute the 5. So that's 5y minus 35 equals 6x minus 18. I'm going to add the 35 over. So that would be 5y equals 6x. Let's see, 35 minus 18 is going to be 17, and it's going to be positive. And then I divide everything by 5 to get y by itself. So y equals 6/5 x plus 17 over 5. So when we did these in class, we went to general form on almost all of them, so this is just showing you the same thing is pretty much done, except at the end you solve for y if you wanted in slope-intercept. We did example 5 in class. Let's look at example 6. I believe we did one of these in class, but I'm just to make sure I cover all my bases, we'll just do them again. It says use slope-intercept form, so again solve it for y equals mx plus b to find the slope and y-intercept and then sketch the graph. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swap these two because we want y to be by itself. So I'm going to add 4y over and then subtract over 7x. So notice when they switch sides, they switch signs. And then this would be dividing by 4. So that would be y equals -7/4 x minus 2. This would be my y-intercept, and this would be my slope. So my y-intercept is -2. Make sure you plot that on the y-axis. The slope is -7 over 4, so I could go down 7, right 4, or I could write it as 7 over -4 and go up 7 and then left 4. Remember, the top number is always up or down. The bottom number is always right or left, and that's depending on where you put the negative sign. So if I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then left 1, 2, 3, 4. I could also go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice all of those are in a line together. The last one went away. And draw a line with a ruler, please. It is not good when you sketch it by hand. All right, and then for B part, we have to solve this one for y, so I'm going to subtract the x over. Don't lose this negative in front of that 5. Divide everything by -5. This would be 1/5 x plus 3, so positive 3, and this is up 1, right 5. So up 1, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could go the other direction as well, but as long as you have two good points, you can draw the line. For part 7, you're supposed to find the equation. If you ever have a vertical line, that is always x equals a number. If you have a horizontal line, it's y equals a number. So this is just x equals what value it crosses, which is -2. And I don't have a special horizontal line, but for these, you have to find the y-intercept first, and then you want to find your slope. So the y-intercept on this one is 0. The slope means I have to find another point that my graph crosses. It looks like this one. Trying to find a nice point that it crosses at. Yeah, I think it's right here. This crosses at the point, and if we give you something like this on the test, we usually give you both points so that you don't have to try to find it, or it's very easy to see this graph's not so bold and big like I wanted it to be. But it looks like 2, 3 is another point. So if we have 2 points, we can count the slope. So that's up 1, 2, 3. That's up, so that's a +3 on top, and right 2. So this would be the line y equals 3/2 x plus 0, but you don't really need to write plus 0. So just y equals 3/2 x. Okay, let's look at C. Looks like our y-intercept this time is -2. Our slope, we need another point. Looks like 4, -1 is a nice point for us. So that's up 1, and then right 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be y equals 1/4 x minus 2. This one has a b, or a y-intercept of 1, and another good point. It looks like it's supposed to be -1, 3. It's kind of hard to see, but that's where I think my point was supposed to be. So this would be up 1, 2, which is a slope of 2 on top, over left 1, so that's -1. So this would be y equals -2x plus 1. So if you have to find the equation, you have to find the y-intercept first, and then count the slope from the y-intercept to a second point on your line. The last one in this section is all about doing a word problem, essentially. But it's a very simple one because it's pretty much giving you everything you need to find slope and to get the equation. So a baby weighs 10 pounds at birth. Well, birth, if we're going to do this, it says assume that the child's weight in pounds is linearly related to the age. Whatever they relate to is usually your x. So this is going to be time and years and then comma weight. So at birth, your age is 0. So that would be the ordered pair 0, 10. 3 years later would be 3 years old and the child weighs 30 pounds. To find the slope, we have to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is 20/3. So if we want to write this in terms of t, this would be w, the weight of the child in pounds, equals 20/3 times how old they are. And then remember, we already have the y-intercept because it's 0, 10, because that's when they were born. So that was their starting point. So that would be my equation. So on the 6th birthday, that means that the child is 6 years old. So we're going to put that in for t. We should assume that this is, of course, an approximation because we don't know for sure that every child grows a linear weight. Usually they don't. So 3 into 6 goes 2 times. So that's 40 plus 10. So we can assume if this trend did continue that this child would weigh 50 pounds on their 6th birthday. And then at what age will it be when the child is 70 pounds? Well, we put that in for W this time instead of T. We would subtract the 10 over and multiply both sides by 3/20 to get rid of that fraction. So that would be 180 divided by 20 equals T, which means that that would be 9 years old. So if this child has the same growth rate that it started with, when they are 9 years old, they will weigh 70 pounds. All right, that's the end for the 3.3 note.